Welcome to lecture 5 on module 1 of 8051 microcontroller, in which we will be discussing about interfacing the external data and program memory to the 8051 microcontroller. In this particular slide, we will be discussing about interfacing an external ROM that is of size 8 kilobytes into an 8051 microcontroller. So here the external ROM will be working as a program ROM. So the ROM can be either program memory or data memory. You can either store a data in the ROM, or you can also use it as a program memory. Whenever you use it as a program memory, then the microcontroller fetches the data, the program that is written in the program memory, and executes it in the CPU, and that process continues. So here we need to consider two pins of very important prominence when external ROM is interfaced as a program memory, that is the external access pin and program store enable pin. This program store enable pin will be activated only when the external access pin is grounded. When the external access pin, this plays a very prominent role in the 8031 family, where the 8031 family of microcontrollers will not have an internal program memory. Instead, you need to interface the external program ROM. In such cases, this EA external access pin has to be grounded. Only then the program store enable pin is activated. Whereas if this is connected to logical high, this external access, if it is not grounded or if it is connected to VCC, then initially the program gets the program that is stored in the internal ROM, internal program memory, will be executed, and then next once it is completed, next it receives the program that is stored in the external ROM. Only in that case the external access pin has to be connected to VCC. So this, in order to activate program store enable pin, this external access pin has to be always grounded, which means that the program, when the program store enable pin gets activated, it will send the active low signal through the program store enable pin, which will be connected to the chip enable and the output enable pins of the ROM. So in case of ROM, we have the data lines, we have the address bus, we have the supply, that is VPP, and we have two other signals, chip enable and output enable. This output enable is used whenever in order to read the data that is present. If you want to read the data that is present in the program ROM, in such cases the output enable pin will be used, and chip enable pin is used whenever we have multiple ROM or RAM. If we have multiple memories, when we have multiple memory, in such instances we have the chip enable pins, which, say for example here this is the address bus and this is the data bus. These are fixed. If you have we will look into the examples later on. We will have, when we have multiple memories, these the same lines that gets connected to ROM, program ROM, the same will be connected to the other memory as well. In that case, there should be one pin that decides which of the memory is being selected at that particular moment to transfer the data. So in such cases, this chip enable pins plays a major role. This has to be, if you have multiple chips, if for example if you have two chips, then there will be pins that is connected to the port pins that has to be connected to chip enable pins of both the microcontroller, and whichever chip you want to select to transfer the data, that particular chip has to be sent a logical low signal to the chip enable pin of that particular memory. That we will look in detail in the coming slides. And here The address latch enable pin is the pin that separates the address bus and the data bus that is coming at the port 0. We know that port 0 is address and data multiplexed. It has address and data through the same lines. Through the same lines, the address and data data are coming. In that cases, we have a latch here. We have a latch that is 74LS373. Based on the address latch enable signal that it receives, the latch receives, it will separate the address bus and the data bus. When the address latch enable pin is 0, then it indicates the data that is coming at the port 0 will be the data. If address latch enable is 1, the data that is coming out at the port 0 is address. So this is how we separate the address and the data bus using a latch and the address latch enable signal that is generated by the 8051 microcontroller. Here in this interface, we will be using 8 kilobytes memory. Here we will be using 8 kilobytes memory. So in order to interface 8 kilobytes memory, we need to represent this in 2 powers to find the number of address lines. So 2 power 13, 2 power 13 equal to 8k, 8 kilobytes. So here we need 13 address lines. 13 address lines, out of which 8 plus 5. 8 will be from port 0 and 5 will be from port 2. That is port 2.0 to port 2.4. These are the pins that are used as the address bus. Port 2.0 to 2.4 will be used as the address bus, this address bus, and port 0.0 to 0.7 will be used as the lower address byte. So now the data, however, will be D0 to D7. Any memory has the capacity to store 1 byte of information in one particular address. So here 8051, it is 8 bit. So the data bus is also 8 bit size. Once all this setup is done, the program that is stored in the program memory will be transferred to the CPU that is present in the 8051, and the program gets executed based on the command that is present in the ROM memory, that is the program memory. In this particular slide, we will discuss how to interface an data ROM with 8051 microcontroller. Previously, we had discussed how to interface a program memory with the 8051. Here, how to interface a data ROM with the 8051. The only difference here is since it is a data ROM, it is not a program, so we need not run the program from the external memory. So we need not have a PSEN or external access here, because it is not a program memory. We are interfacing a data ROM, and the rest of the things will remain same. We need a address latch enable signal to differentiate the address and data. Here you have a latch. The address latch enable, when address latch enable becomes high, it separates address from the port 0 and it gives to the memory. Here the only difference what we have is with respect to the output enable pin. The output enable pin will be connected to read bar signal that is generated by 8051. In 8051 port 3, we have port 3.7 and 3.6, that is write bar signal and read bar signal. The read bar signal is used when to read the data that is present in the data ROM. Write is required when you want to write to the data memory using the microcontroller. If you want to write any data into the memory, only in such cases we have write bar signal. Here, since it is interfacing a data ROM, we will be using it for read purpose. So we will be interfacing only read signal that will be connected to the output enable signal. Next, here, same as the previous, we have 8 kilobytes of ROM and these 8 kilobytes of ROM, we have the address lines of A0 to A12, and here A13, A14 and A15 pins are used as for chip enable. What happens is A13, A14 and A15 by default will be 0. It doesn't hold any values. It will be given to um, it will be given to the NAND gate whose output will be 0, that will be given to chip enable. Either you can use this or you can directly connect active low signal to the chip enable bar. This is to this particular setup is to avoid the unnecessary or out of range address. In order to sometimes what happens is, if any data comes here, if any of these pins, that is A13, A14, A15, if it gets some junk values 1 or 0 or 1 instead of 0, if it gets 1, then the data that is being read will be from the address, some other address rather than the intended address. In order to avoid such things, the chip enable is connected to the remaining pins A2, A13, A14 and A15, making sure that it is always 0. If any of these values becomes non-zero, then this chip enable signal gets 1, so this particular chip will not be selected at all. This is how we can avoid unnecessary or out of range addressing the or receiving the data from out of range address can be avoided by using this particular setup. Here in this particular slide, it is the combination of the previous two discussions. That is, we will be having both the data ROM as well as the program ROM. In this case, for program ROM, we need external access pin to be grounded, and we need program store enable pin that has to be connected to chip enable and output enable, that we have done using this particular pin. We have enabled the chip as well as we have used it for read operations. In case of data ROM, the output enable will be connected to read bar signal, and the chip enable is connected to A13, A14, A15. Why only A13, A14, A15? Because it is 8K. If it is 4K, then A0 to A11 will be the address line. A12, A13, A14 and A15 will be the input to the chip enable bar signal. Here we have address latch enable to differentiate, so to separate the address and the data bus. One thing we need to note is the A0, the same address lines, that is A0 to A7 will flow to 8 kilobyte data RAM as well as the ROM. Similarly, here the data lines, same set of data lines connect both the chips, that is 8 kilobytes of data RAM as well as the program ROM. Now here we need to here this chip enable signals play a major role in efficient transmission of data to a particular device. The data can be read from the microcontroller. The microcontroller can read the data from data ROM or from the program ROM. From where the program has to be fetched, from where the data has to be fetched, or at what moment the data has to be fetched from the program ROM, or at what moment the data has to be fetched from the data ROM, will be decided by the chip enable signals. However, the microcontroller will not understand anything. It just randomly receives the data that is loaded into the bus lines. So this chip enable signal, based on which chip is enabled, based on that the the data will be loaded into these bus lines and it will go to the microcontroller. This is how we can interface data ROM and program ROM to the 8051 microcontroller simultaneously. In this particular slide, we will be discussing about connecting an 8051 or interfacing 8051 with a static RAM. Since the static RAM, it is both read and write, we need uh, it is bidirectional. We need both read operations as well as write operations, or the read operations of 8051 microcontroller has to be connected to read, has to be connected to output enable, whereas write has to be connected to write enable pin. And since it is 8 kilo, we need address lines A0 to A7, A8 to A13, total A8 to A13, since it is 8 kilobytes of data RAM. However, we have discussed about 74LS373, which requires address latch enabled signals to differentiate or separate address A0 to A7 and D0 to D7. So the one more pin that is present in any memory is the chip enable. In order to write or read or any data from a memory or to a memory, in such cases the chip has to be enabled first. In order to enable the chip, we need to give an active low signal to chip enable signal. That is, we have a CE bar signal, that is chip enable. For this particular pin, we need to give active low signal, that is active low signal. So in order to generate an active low signal, we will be in order to avoid the accidental writing of the address, see here we need the pins A0 to A13 to interface 8 kilobytes of memory. So now in this case, the total address lines are A0 to A16, right? In such cases, the address lines, so A15, A0 to A15, that is 16 bit. In this case, A14 and A15 are vacant, are empty. They are of no use. Sometimes what happens is, if we by default, if this A14 and A15 take some values when you write or read, in such cases what happens is it will write to some other location. Since the address range, whatever the memory we have in this case is 8 kilobytes, what happens is when you accidentally write some values to A14 and A15 of the address lines, the address range will be different. It will be beyond 8K. In such cases, the data will be lost. Either when the read operation or write operation, the data cannot be accessed at all. In order to avoid such accidental read or write operations, we are using those pins A14 and A15, which has to be active low always, in order to generate the chip enable. So what happens, it is given to NAND gate A14 and A15. This has to be always 0. This will be always 0. So the input to the NAND gate will be always 0. So the output of the NAND gate becomes 1. Output of the NAND gate becomes 0. So the chip enable signal becomes enabled. So anything other than 0, at the input of the NAND gate, we know the truth table, 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. These are the possible inputs that it can take. So when the input is 0 0, the output is 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 1. Any values other than 0 at A14 and A15 will make the chip disable. This becomes high when this particular pin, chip enable pin, becomes high. It disables the any read or write operation from this particular memory. That is the significance of chip enable pin that is available in each and every memories that are present in the that can be interfaced to 8051. However, there is no much change with respect to the previous interfacing memory interfaces that we have discussed. The only difference here is with respect to the read and write memory. Since it is a data RAM, it requires both read and write operations to be performed. So we need both P3.7 and P3.6 pins of 8051 to be connected to memory to a corresponding pins like output enable as well as write enable. Write bar pin, the write bar pin, that is port 3.6, has to be connected to write enable pin of memory, and port 3.7, that is read bar signal, that has to be connected to output enable as we discussed earlier. In this slide, we will be discussing about interfacing a data RAM, data ROM, and the program ROM. As we have discussed earlier, in order to interface a program ROM, we have to connect the chip enable signal that is present in the program ROM to the program store enable pin. This program store enable pin will be activated only when the external access pin is grounded. Always when you interface a program ROM, there are the program can be loaded in two different ways. One is internal ROM that is present in the microcontroller, or the external memory that can be interfaced. When you are using the external program ROM, then the external access pin has to be grounded, and also the program store enable has to be connected to the chip enable pin to enable the chip, as well as the output enable pin to read the code that is present in the memory. Here in this case, since we have multiple memories, such as here we have data RAM, data ROM, and the program ROM. Here the chip enable pins are used to switch between the different memories. The chip enable pin will select a particular memory to read or write the data. Now here, in order to choose the different in order to choose the data RAM or data ROM, we need to give a active low signal to the chip enable pins, whichever you want to choose among these two. You need to send a active low signal to the chip enable. So this can be done by the decoder. Here we will be using the decoder. So the decoder, there are three inputs. This is 3:8 decoder. This is 3:8 decoder, whatever we are using. Out of that, we are using only two, A, B. C is by default grounded. By default grounded. So the C will be always 0. So the first case is 0, 0, 0. When the input is 0, 0, 0, Y0 Y0 output of the decoder will be low. Rest of them will be high. Whereas when A15 is high, if you make the A15 high, the code becomes 0, 1, 0. 0, 1, 0, in this case, Y2 will become 0, rest of the pins Y0 to Y7 will become 1. So this will help us to choose only one memory at a time. See what happens in case of decoder, depending on the input that we give, only one particular among the 8 output lines, 0 to 7 output lines what we have, only one will be low, the rest of them will become high. This will avoid multiple selection of chips. So in this way we can interface multiple memories. Since here the data RAM is read write operation, if the data RAM supports read write operation, we need to connect write enable to write bar signal, that is port 3.6, and output enable, that is read bar signal has to be connected to read bar signal of microcontroller, that is port 3.7. The rest of the latch what we have 74LS373 is used to separate address A0 to A7 and D0 to D7. Here one thing we need to note is the same data lines are connected to all the memories, same data line as well as same address lines. There is no switching. Only the switching will be done by the help of chip enabled signals, which will activate only one particular memory at a time, so that the data written to data ROM, the data that is sent to data ROM will not be received by data RAM. Similarly, the program that is read from the program memory, the data that is read from the program memory will not be read from the data RAM. This will be taken care by the chip enabled signal, which enables only one particular memory at a time. This is how we can interface multiple memories to the microcontroller at a time. By this, we have completed module 1 of 8051 microcontroller. Thank you.